The field of psychology appears at the science of the thought and behavior. Studies attempting to apprehend why we are the way we are have been going on for a long time and will continue into the future. We're getting to know greater and more every day, but there may be still so a good deal we do not know. Some learn about findings are more captivating than others. Did you be aware of that punctuating in your text messages makes you come across as insincere? Strap yourself in. You're in for a wild psychological ride. The following psychology data should simply give an explanation for or verify some of the matters you see in yourself or others. Number 1, if we have a plan B, our plan A is less likely to work. Scientists at the University of Pennsylvania studied the performance of volunteers on a positive task and discovered that contributors who thought about a backup design did worse than those who didn't. They additionally determined that when individuals realized they had different options, their motivation decreased. This is associated to expectancy theory, which used to be developed with the aid of Victor H. Vroom in 1964. Expectancy concept basically states that your motivation for something is a feature of whether or not you expect to be successful at it. Inherent in a backup design is that you are now not going to be triumphant the first time around. Researchers say it is important to assume beforehand, but endorse towards getting too caught up in the details. You should inadvertently be sabotaging your success. Number 2, catching a yawn could help us bond. The workday has just begun, and you're prepared to get plenty done. You're sitting at your cubicle all through your morning assembly when the guy next to you lets out a big, loud, obnoxious yawn. Before you recognize it, you're yawning yourself. But you're now not even tired. That's a response yawn. There are a number of theories explaining why yawns are contagious, one of the leading ones being that response yawns exhibit empathy. This explains why young youth that have not but developed a sense of empathy, or these on the autism spectrum, are much less likely to response yawn. Number 3, we care more about a single person than about massive tragedies. In another University of Pennsylvania study, researchers examined people's conduct as it related to donating to motives based on sure stimuli. One crew was once proven a ravenous young girl. The 2D group used to be informed a statistic about thousands and thousands of humans' loss of life of hunger, and the third group was taught about both. Those who heard only about the statistic donated the least, followed via those who heard about both. Those who heard about the little girl donated double what the statistic group did. Psychologists attribute this to the truth that if a hassle feels too big, we sense helpless and insignificant, like our efforts may not have any payoff. In this case, supporting save one ravenous lady appears greater plausible than ending world hunger. Number 4, beginnings and ends are easier to remember than middles. Have you ever been grocery buying and forgot your grocery list? When attempting to be aware things without it, you can visualize it and take into account matters close to the beginning and the end. But the things in the middle are a little fuzzy. A study in the frontiers of human neuroscience proven this. It's called the serial position effect. It's also why you may bear in mind the quid of your manager's presentation, however the middle, now not so much. So, it in reality is a thing, and you may additionally not have ADHD after all. Number 5, it takes 5 positive things to outweigh a single negative thing. You might have heard the recommendation to start and give up your day by way of thinking about a few things you are grateful for. This helps maintain us balanced because we have what's referred to as a negativity bias, which makes us center of attention on the horrific stuff as a substitute of the good. It's useless to ruminate on the terrible things that can weigh you down. Shoot for a ratio of 5 true matters to 1 awful in your life. You just may appear something wonderful. Number 6, food tastes better when someone else makes it. Ever wonder why food usually tastes better when mom makes it? In fact, meals tastes better each time all and sundry else makes it, assuming they're a respectable chef. Researchers attribute this to the fact that when you're making ready a meal for yourself, by means of the time you are equipped to eat, it has been so long that it's less exciting, and as a result, you enjoy it less. Number 7, we'd rather know that something bad is coming than not know what to expect. Have you ever felt a drop in your belly when anyone says, "We need to talk"? Your idea is immediately flooded with a million different horrific things it should be about. If it is a romantic partner, you'll in all likelihood alternatively they just ruin up with you then and there. If it is your boss, you would rather they simply fire you on the spot. Researchers have observed that we prefer knowing something terrible is going to take place over uncertainty. This is due to the fact, when our talent doesn't recognize what to expect, it goes into overdrive, making an attempt to predict any possible consequences, each top and bad. Number 8, when one rule seems too strict, we want to break more. In the psychological phenomenon known as reactance, humans have a tendency to ruin more regulations when they feel like sure freedoms are being limited in an effort to regain the freedom that they identify as being taken away. This is fantastic illustrated in teenagers. When grounded, no longer solely might they sneak out, but they may additionally give up attractive and different unstable behaviors as a shape of reactance. Number 9, there's Aries and we want to squeeze cute things, puppies and babies. Don't you just choose to love them, and squeeze them, and cuddle with them? Well, apparently, it is a natural reaction, and it is regarded as cute aggression. According to an article in the Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience, the thought at the back of lovely aggression is that when we're overcome with high-quality feelings like those elicited by means of an cute pup or baby, a tad bit of aggression balances out those overwhelming feelings so that we don't harm innocent little beings. Number 10. We unintentionally believe what we want to believe. Confirmation bias is the tendency to interpret information in a way that confirms what we already believe. This explains why humans with certain political views decide upon sure news stories over others. Forget even attempting to get Uncle Fred to change his stance on worldwide relations. Not solely does confirmation bias lead us to seek out records that can sense with what we already believe, but it also reasons us to reject contradictory information. Number 11. You're programmed to most love the music you listened to in high school. Good tune triggers the release of dopamine and other feel-good chemicals. This is my jam. Stated each and every teenager at a celebration at some factor ever. Ah, the days of high school. Or clearly between the while of 12 and 22, when the importance of the whole lot feels magnified. Music included. Studies exhibit that we join to the music we bonded to in the course of our teenage years, extra so than we ever will as adults, regardless of the passage of time. Number 12. Memories are more like pieced-together pictures than accurate snapshots. False reminiscences are something that you recall in your thought, but don't seem to be really true, both in whole or in part. An example should be believing you commenced the dishwasher earlier than you left for work when you genuinely didn't. This is due to the fact our brains can now and again inaccurately fill in the blanks when it only remembers the gist of what happened. Number 13. We look for human faces, even in inanimate objects. Pareidolia is the tendency to pick out specific, frequently significant images, such as faces, in random or ambiguous visible patterns. A common instance is the man in the moon. Some scientists attribute it to the truth that, as social beings, recognizing faces is so essential that we'd alternatively create one where it doesn't exist and miss a real one that does. Number 14. People rise to our high expectations and don't rise if we have low ones. The Pygmalion effect is a psychological phenomenon in which excessive expectations lead to improved performance. In a famous learn about in the 1960s, researchers informed instructors that random students had excessive workable in accordance to their ratings on an IQ test. They observed that those recognized as high conceivable students did quit up becoming high achievers, at least in part due to their teachers' heightened expectations. Number 15. Our brain doesn't think long-term deadlines are so important yet. You ought to probably start on that large mission for work or faculty now, however you've acquired a number of months. Before you understand it, these months are gone, and you're scrambling to cram months really worth of work into a matter of days. Urgent, unimportant tasks are greater appealing. They furnish on-the-spot gratification because they're quicker and simpler to cross off your to-do list. Our brains process momentary cut-off dates like those measured in days better than long-term ones, such as months or years. If you loved this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them.